Every morning you wake up with a choice: repeat yesterday or take control of today. Most people don't realize how the first 10 minutes after opening their eyes decide how the next 15 hours will go. Your mindset, your focus, your internal tone, that's where your entire day is either won or lost. Today is about reclaiming that power. This message is for your mornings, something short, real, and practical that sets your day on track before the world pulls you in 100 directions. Your first thoughts in the morning are not just ideas floating through your mind. They are emotional instructions sent to your body. If the first message you send yourself is stress, worry, or dread, your body responds as if those fears are already happening. Your breathing changes, your heartbeat changes, your posture changes, and suddenly you're starting the day already behind. Most people think their day goes bad later, but the truth is, many days are lost before they even open their eyes. When you wake up and immediately think of everything going wrong, your brain primes itself to filter the rest of the day through that same negative lens. It's not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing not to sabotage yourself before you even get started. Morning thoughts shape perception, and perception shapes behavior. For example, waking up thinking, "I'm already late," pushes you into defensive mode, even if nothing bad has happened yet. You hurry, rush, cut corners, and feel overwhelmed all before breakfast. But waking up thinking, "I have time to start intentionally," activates a completely different part of the brain, one that leads instead of reacts. In that state, the same schedule, same tasks, and same responsibilities feel different because you feel different. You start moving with purpose. You stop feeling like life is happening to you. And that shift in internal tone sets you up to experience the day as something you can influence instead of something you are trying to survive. The first thoughts of the day are also powerful because they shape memory recall. If your first thought is about something that went wrong yesterday, your brain automatically begins scanning for more things that support that feeling. Your mind starts processing the past, not the present, and you begin your day carrying emotional weight that belonged to another moment. But if instead your first thought is about what's possible today, your brain begins scanning future potential. You open the day with movement rather than regret. You're not dragging yesterday into today. You're stepping forward instead of backward. The problem is, most of us never learn to challenge that morning autopilot, so we accept whatever old mental soundtrack shows up before we even get out of bed. What people miss is that the first thought is often a habit, not a conscious decision. If someone has been anxious for years, they wake up anxious not because the day is threatening, but because their brain has learned to prepare for threat. If someone has been overwhelmed for months, they might wake up overwhelmed before anything has even happened. And because these thoughts feel automatic, they feel true. But automatic doesn't mean accurate. Automatic means practiced. Your brain is always rewriting itself based on repetition, and mornings are one of the most easily programmed moments of the entire day. If you choose the first thought intentionally, even for 10 seconds, you begin retraining your mind to start on steady ground instead of emotional chaos. This doesn't require unrealistic positivity or ignoring problems. It simply requires an intentional pause. Before grabbing the phone, before rushing into tasks, before mentally listing everything that needs fixing, take one breath and ask yourself, "How do I want to show up today?" That single question activates the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for direction, clarity, decision-making, and self-control. Instead of going straight into emotional reaction, you go into mental leadership. One small conscious thought disrupts the automatic negative cycle and gives you space to choose a better tone. You might not control everything that happens today, but you can control the voice you start with. And that matters more than most people realize. Because the truth is, your first thought becomes the environment you walk into. If your first thought is, "I'm tired," you look for evidence that you have no energy. If your first thought is, I'm capable, you begin noticing small moments that prove it. If your first thought is, everything is going wrong, your brain filters out everything going right. And if your first thought is, today is mine to shape, your body begins responding as if that's true. Your first thought is not just a thought, it's the pilot setting the direction of the flight. When you start your day from a place of grounded, intentional clarity, you give yourself the chance to win the day before you've even stood up. Small actions in the morning have a powerful psychological effect because they create proof, not promises. When you start your day by doing something simple and intentional, making your bed, drinking a glass of water, stretching for 60 seconds, your brain gets the message, I follow through. That message is more powerful than motivation because motivation comes and goes, but self-proof builds identity. When someone accomplishes 10 tiny things before breakfast, they walk out the door already feeling like a person who can handle the day ahead. It's not about the size of the action, it's about building the pattern of consistency. Every small, completed action is a vote for the future version of yourself you're trying to become. Most people wait for big wins to feel confident, landing the job, losing the weight, finishing the project, but waiting for huge accomplishments means confidence always stays far away in the future. Meanwhile, the person who does tiny things each morning creates miniature victories that stack quickly. When someone starts the day with achievements, the momentum makes the next task easier and the next one after that. It's like pushing a flywheel, slow at first, but once it starts moving, everything gets smoother. Confidence is not something you get, it is something you build, one completed action at a time. And mornings are the perfect time to start stacking those actions before life tries to pull your attention away. A small morning action is powerful because it happens at a time when nobody is judging, nobody is rushing you, and nothing is demanding your attention yet. These early hours are your territory, and they allow you to set the tone before the world sets it for you. When you start your day already accomplishing something, even something tiny, you leave the house feeling ahead instead of behind. That difference changes posture, voice, focus, and decision-making. Starting strong makes setbacks later in the day feel less personal and less overwhelming. You don't crumble as easily because you've already proven to yourself that you are capable before the challenges even arrive. Another reason small morning actions build confidence fast is that they are measurable and repeatable. Anyone can wake up and commit to one simple task. Make the bed, tidy the desk, write one line in a journal, read 2 pages, stretch for 30 seconds. These aren't complicated promises. They're realistic, approachable, and completely within your control. The brain loves routines that are predictable, and once your morning is filled with small, predictable successes, your stress response goes down and your sense of control goes up. When your brain gets used to success early, it begins expecting success later as well. It's no longer waiting for the day to go wrong. It's looking for more things to accomplish. Small actions also matter because they teach your brain that you can show up even when you don't feel like it. Anyone can perform at their best when they are motivated, rested, and energized. But doing one small thing on a tired morning, on an overwhelmed morning, on a stressed morning, that is how consistency is born. Consistency builds trust with yourself, and trust is the root of confidence. When you trust that you will still show up no matter how you feel, you stop doubting yourself. You stop overthinking. You stop starting and stopping. Instead, you start moving forward steadily, day after day, one tiny action at a time, until the version of you with no confidence is just a memory. Small morning actions work because they don't rely on emotional fireworks. They rely on follow-through. They don't require dramatic energy or life-changing decisions. They ask only for one moment of commitment, something that can be done in less than a minute. And when you stack enough of those moments over weeks and months, you become a person who takes action naturally. You begin expecting more from yourself, not in a stressful way, but in a grounded, capable way. You look in the mirror and see someone who doesn't just talk about changing, they're actually doing it. Tiny morning actions won't fix your whole life in one day, but they will start changing who you believe you are today. And once your belief changes, everything else catches up. Clarity before movement is one of the most overlooked habits in the morning because most people wake up and immediately start doing without